So in tonight's episode, we finally see the return of Andy Barkley and Kyle from Child's Play 2. So Child's Play 2 is personally my favourite Chucky movie. So there's so many good memories for me wrapped up in Child's Play 2. So I was really happy to see Andy and Kyle return. And I found the opening sequence to be one of the best parts of the episode. So basically, they're hunting down all the Chucky dolls, and I think there's only one or two left. If you caught that, let me know in the comments down below. I think it's basically only the original Chucky doll, the original soul piece in the Tommy doll, is the only one left at the moment, I think. Anyway, so basically they've got this ruse going on where they're dressing up as these government officials and they're basically going around and asking to see these toys in this little girl's home. So they've been driving across America, going up to random people and saying, "We're the government, can we see your toys?" Like, can you imagine? But the way that Kyle comes across is really professional. You know, she's really charming, and Andy's just like a weird psychopath. Like, he comes across as this really strange person. So I think if it was only him going into the people's homes, he wouldn't be able to pull it off. Anyway, so they find one of the Chucky dolls and they kill it in front of the little girl, so her parents are probably going to have to pay some pretty big therapy bills in the future. And then we cut to the present day in the hotel. So we have Chucky, who is still in Nika's body, and Tiffany. And basically, they're doing what everybody does on vacation. Tiffany is trying to pack her suitcase, but she finds that she's, bought too many things. So in her case, basically the problem is a body that she's trying to stuff in the suitcase, not extra souvenirs. So she has a body she's trying to stuff in the suitcase. They're just bickering back and forth, and it's just hilarious. Like, these two need some serious couples therapy. And, they just make psychopaths charming. So in a flashback, we see Tiffany and Chucky buying a car. And when I say buying a car, I mean killing the guy that's selling it to them and driving away and leaving Hackensack behind. So anyway, in the present moment, we see Junior's mum. So Junior's mum finally reveals that she has cancer to her family, and it's a very emotional moment, and it sort of brings the mood down. Like, I just feel like this was a very unnecessary plot point. And we do see later on in the episode why they focus so much on Junior's mum. Like, it's fairly obvious. Spoiler alert, she dies, but still, I felt like it just brought the mood down. And I get that this is a horror TV show, but still, it would have been nice to see, if they added in a storyline that was a little more upbeat and a little more fun. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I just didn't enjoy that whole thing with the cancer. Anyway, so we also see Tiffany and Chucky in present time. They're at the hotel, and Tiffany finds out that Nika is actually pretending to be Chucky, that she is back in control of her body. And am I the only one that's really grossed out and creeped out when you think about the idea that Chucky and Tiffany have just been taking advantage of Nika's body anyway? So it's like that scene in Wonder Woman 2. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so Tiffany basically says to Nika that she prefers her to Chucky. She prefers Nika to her soulmate. Like, they really do need some serious couples therapy at this point. Anyway, so then Tiffany buys a house that I think she said that it belonged to Charles Lee Ray. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that it was Charles Lee Ray's house. So we see the trio, as I like to call them. Devon, Lexi, and Jake, we see them try to reach out to Andy Barkley because they've seen on the internet about what happened to him when he was a kid. And it turns out Tiffany and Chucky aren't the only couple in need of couples therapy. So we see Lexi and Junior. They also need some couples therapy. Maybe Tiffany and Chucky and Lexi and Junior could double date in a weird way. That would be an entertaining episode. So basically we see them break up and, I can't really blame Junior. Lexi has just been a horrible girlfriend. Even before this whole thing started with Chucky, she was basically cheating on him and then said, get over it instead of sorry. Are we forgetting about that? Anyway, so we see that Jake's teacher is getting arrested by Devons Mum because they think that she's the one that's killing everybody. So we see the reason why Junior's mum has had such a focus in this episode. So she goes to see her therapist and basically she's trying to decide whether or not she wants to go through chemo and all the treatment for cancer. And in the end, it sort of seems like she decides to go through with it and decides to fight it. And then, of course, that's when Chucky comes, and you can tell that they only had that conflict to sort of make it more dramatic when she eventually dies. So she's leaning against this window, and Chucky comes and pushes her out the window. And it's sort of like an homage to the original Child's Play movie. And she lands on a car with Junior inside it, and her head goes through the windshield inches from his face. And I have to admit, that is a pretty brutal kill, and you just feel so sorry for Junior at this point. So we see a sweet moment between Devon and his mum where she finally admits that Jake most likely is not the killer. And we see Devon watching that old movie, Cape Fear, and now I'm in the mood to watch it. And he gets an idea from the movie to set up these booby traps to see when Chucky's entering the house. So basically Chucky gets in the house, he gets past all of the traps that Devon set out for him. Big surprise there that a tripwire didn't manage to catch Chucky. He is a really infamous killer for a reason. I don't think a tripwire is going to be the thing to knock him down. Anyway, so basically he manages to corner Lexi and makes her an offer and says, if you kill Jake, I won't kill you. And it sort of feels like this is his way of getting revenge on Jake for him disappointing him and not turning out to be the killer that he wanted him to be. So basically Lexi doesn't go for it, and her and Jake get past Chucky and manage to escape from him. But it would have been a really interesting moment to see if the stakes were higher, to see if Lexi was really in a situation where she was inches away from death, where there was no Jake coming to save her, if she really had to decide, am I going to die or is Jake going to die? That would have been more of a dramatic way to end it. But I feel like they just really want to sort of redeem her character, so they didn't go with that. Anyway, so basically Devon's mum arrives to find him because he isn't answering his phone calls, and she finds Chucky. Well, when I say she finds him, he jumps on top of her and starts screaming. And obviously she freaks out because there is a doll trying to kill her. So she falls down the stairs and twists her neck around in a really disturbing moment. I really don't like it when people's necks twist around. And it's sort of like that movie Death Becomes Her with Meryl Streep's character falling down the staircase. So anyway, this was a really bad episode for mums. If you're a mum in this episode, basically you're dead. So we didn't really get to see a lot of Andy and Kyle. It was really just the beginning sequence. And then there's a few moments where the trio and Andy and Kyle are on the phone to each other and they say they're coming to meet them. So Hopefully we'll see more Andy and Kyle in the next episode, so let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of this episode, and if you want to see my review for the rest of the series, please consider subscribing or just giving this video a like. It really helps my channel. Thank you.